Chilling in the icebox. We got lots to say. Chilling in the icebox. She's a sleepy, tired baby. Is that how it goes? Welcome
Yeah.
back to the show, you guys. It's Coach Maddie and Coach Laura here with Chillin' in the Icebox, your favorite podcast where we talk a little bit about fitness and a little about some other shit. So we're gonna kick it off today with, as usual, 10 secs. Laura, take it away.
Okay. Let's see. I had my first pumpkin spice cold brew.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
I maybe because I haven't been like having like a lot of sweet like coffee
Yeah.
lately. It was kind of a lot. I mean, I did drink it in like 2 seconds, so it's fine. But it was it did feel like it was very sugary. Like I wasn't like as I was drinking it, I always remember the time that like we like had 3 of them in one day, and I was like,
Dude.
how did we do this? But I waited till October 2nd to have it. So
Yeah, that's full blown fall,
yeah.
legit. So you earned it.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good one. I guess my 10 secs will be that I guess by the time this episode airs, this event will probably already be over. But as of right now on this day recording, it's like 4 days until the Ren Fair. And I am very, very excited about it.
That's when I think of Ren Fair, I think of you.
I love the Ren Fair. One day you're going to have to come for it.
Um I know I've been saying like every year, like, oh, I'll go. Last
I
year
wonder if they have one in Utah. They probably have a good one.
so they did have one a couple years ago. It was in like July. And my dad was like, he'll to this day still talks about how they had like one of the best bands
Oh,
playing, and they played like 70s music or something like that. But he like to this day is like, remember that time we went to the Ren Fair and they had that band playing? They were so good. I'm like,
they
okay.
do have sick music there sometimes.
But I remember they had like a bunch of like belly dancers and stuff.
Yeah.
And well, my niece, we know how kids are, and they just like say things.
Yeah.
He was like, why is she so fat?
Oh my God.
And like like we're like in the middle of like the crowd, and it was like got that like moment just like got quiet. It was just like so,
Dude.
and I'm like,
Mimi?
yes. And I was like absolutely embarrassed, like because it was just me
Kids,
and
I love when
her.
kids do that.
Well, and I'm like, dude, is this like at the time I didn't have a kid, so I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know, I couldn't even like,
Compute. Like, what do I even do
yeah, what do
next?
I even say? Like I was like, oh my, yeah. And then I kind of felt bad though, because she like, I can't do the belly dancing thing. Like,
Yeah.
so I
It's
was
hard.
like she's out there getting it.
She's
She's
out there
getting her
shaking it.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of leads us into our
I was going
topic
to say
today.
that is the perfect segue into the topic, our main topic of conversation today, which is the body positivity movement.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Yay.
Another hot, it's kind of a little hot button, little controversial topic, maybe. Um, well, how would you define the body positivity movement, Laura?
Um, so how would I define it, or how is it defined?
Well, how about, I don't know, maybe both. If you could do that for our audience, that would be great.
I think what I think, and I think what I know is it's happening a lot with like the younger generation, is that they're coming to accept more things that us elders are not so accepting about.
Yeah.
Um, I and I say that like as a whole, like I say that with like a lot of things fall under that umbrella. I'm not just saying like, oh, they're accepting fat people and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm saying that like there's like becoming more accepting of a lot of things under this
Mm-hmm.
thing, even some things that I don't agree with and some things that I do agree with, but like they're just more accepting than, for instance, my generation, and then especially the generation before me, like
Right.
my parents and stuff. So I think that the body positivity is they're trying to empower the thicker, more
Yeah.
voluptuous woman.
Yes.
I'm dying. I was like tickle in my throat. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so that's my definition of it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly like what the real definition of the body positivity movement is, but I think that you pretty much nailed it. I mean, essentially it's a social movement to try to cast like a more flattering and accepting light on all different kinds of beauty, not just like the cookie cutter, super skinny, like heroin chic model that I think millennials grew up with as like our main. That was like that was the standard. If you're not coked out skinny, you're
Skinny.
fat.
I have a lot of feelings towards this movement, towards a lot of it, towards all of it. I have a lot of feelings towards it. I have a lot of
I do
emotions
too.
that come up.
I feel like with almost anything in life, there are some really good things about it, and there's some things that I think have potential to be positively impactful. And on the flip side, it's gone awry in so many ways that we need to just like kind of shine a realistic light back on it. So I don't know. You have a lot of feelings. Why don't tell us about them?
Well, I mean, I never was like a stick ever in my life. Like I never ever was. I don't necessarily say that I was like unhealthy. It's just thicker. I mean, I always erred on the obese side when I would go to the doctor. Like they would say, like your body percent, like my body compared to like my height or whatever, it was always
Right.
obese. Which,
Wow.
yeah, I like that's like I got a lot of feelings about that too. But I I feel like um there's a difference between being obese, like somebody that looks obese, and there's somebody that looks like a healthy, like she lives her life and is enjoying life and has a little bit of a balance in there.
Yeah.
Um, so growing up, seeing these like stick women, walking the runway or whatever, I could not relate to them. I could not,
Hmm.
the clothes won't look good on me. Those clothes do not fit me, for one. And number two, like they were kind of just like out, like uh, a figure that's like, not unattainable figure that I would never be.
Right.
And I kind of didn't want to. I
Hmm.
didn't, that wasn't the person that I would see walk across the screen and be like, oh man, like that's who I aspire to be, or that's the body that I love.
Right.
Um, I was more of a Xena warrior princess type. Lady Catcher 25. No, I'm just kidding. But I liked the muscly, thicker type, strong woman. Um, but I do know that like that specific image like caused some people to have like a negative relationship with food.
Yeah.
I just really love food so much that growing up, I kind of didn't even really like that wasn't I didn't want to look like that. My goal was to be strong and be this like, beat all the boys at recess. Like that was my goal. So that didn't really affect me. I'm trying to think at my like younger self, like my 5th grade or 4th grade Laura. Um, if I would have seen like a fuller woman come up, if that was somebody that would appeal to me then.
Hmm.
And I don't think that would either. Like I said, I was a Xena warrior princess. Like that's the first person, my girl crush, I guess you could say, when I
Yeah.
was younger. Like that was the person that I looked up to. That was the person that I saw on the screen, on the TV. And I was like, she's got some dope arms. She's got, and Tina Turner's
Oh,
legs,
stop, because I'm obsessed with Tina Turner.
her legs. I would see her legs and I would be like, that's those little things right there. all over that.
Tina Turner. Stop. Okay. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like tried to see like if I would have seen like a bigger woman, like I wouldn't have went that way either. But I also feel like the way that I was brought up has a lot to do with that too.
How
Um,
so?
like my parents like always like applauded muscles and like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Laura's strong and like she's a Lopez, like she's got Lopez blood, like she's strong and um she's just, like fit and like
Yeah.
it was just like they like I don't want to say like idolize that because my sister Dion was not strong like I was, and she was definitely was a lot like she was like 100 pounds soaking wet like in middle school. So like we just had two different body types, and I
Mm-hmm.
think they did a very good job of making us both feel accepted with what we had.
Yeah.
um like I said, Dion was super skinny and like we just had two different body types, and I was way stronger than her, um and my parents just like like highlighted that and like made me feel like that it's something to be comfortable and like um proud of.
That's really cool.
And I think I would, it'd be really cool to see if Dion feels the same way about her
Yeah.
being tiny. I never asked her, but that would be really
We'll
cool
have
to
to
like
ask her. That would be cool.
because I know that like I was always told like that like you're so strong, like strong is beautiful, like like you could do things that like these boys can't do, like that's amazing, like this is
Yeah.
and I never ever, I mean I don't want to say bullied, I mean maybe I was bullied, I don't know, but like in middle school or like elementary school, like I do know like boys would like make fun of me or like call me names or like she man or like whatever, and I was unfazed by it. Like it did not, it was like cool, whatever, I still beat you, like I was unfazed. And I think that partly because of the way my parents like raised me and made me
Supported
feel
you.
like
Yeah.
and I try to do that with Arya too. Like I'm always like muscles, like muscle girl, you're so strong, because she is freaking strong.
Yeah. Okay.
um
So like do you remember like ever like your first awareness of like the actual body positivity movement?
I remember seeing, oh, what was her name? I had her on my Instagram because we were like talking about our next topic, and so I was like, I have to remember. She just had twins. She was like the
Oh,
first
Ashley
like,
Graham.
yes, plus size model. I remember she was like all of a sudden like blew up. It was like the first
Mm-hmm.
plus size model. I was very upset with that being the plus size model.
Yeah, because she's like not that big.
Right. I mean, she does have cellulite. She just posts like her real authentic self on her Instagram, which is really cool. And I think that's great. Like, that's cool or whatever. I was upset because one, I don't have that body type. Like, she still had like a
Yeah.
perfect
Right. Okay.
hourglass
Yeah.
body.
Right. 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 That.
She
That. Yeah. That.
and clothes that like I don't have that body type. I have a more of like a square, boxy, like athletic body type. Like she still, even though she was plus size, she still had like the curvy body. So she came
Yeah.
around and it was like this like, oh, plus size model, she's beautiful. She is beautiful. Like I think she's like whatever. But I didn't resonate with that because I don't have that body type. So I'm not
Right.
looking up to her like, oh yeah, she's plus size, like
She
whatever.
still wasn't somebody that you felt you could relate to or see yourself
Mhm.
in.
I
Yeah.
did um I did love, and this is like at a time I think social media wasn't like as strong of a presence as it is now. So
Mm.
like I think we were more like magazines and like
Yeah.
TV, like MTV and like TRL, whatever, and all that. Wow, I just aged myself, but it's fine. Um so that specific time I loved her confidence. I will say that. Like
Mhm.
I loved like man, like she just got out in that mag. She's like on the cover or whatever, and like her stomach's showing, and that's cool. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I still struggle wearing crop tops or like taking my shirt off in a workout. Like unless I'm by myself, like I rarely ever do that. So it's cool. I find that confidence is cool, but
Hmm.
I did not relate to her at all.
Yeah.
Confidence wise, I was like that. I wish I had that confidence. Like that's cool,
Okay.
but
So
not.
who is an Ashley Graham-ish type, influencer or celebrity or model or somebody is there somebody that you feel like does represent you or that you can like really
Um,
resonate with or relate to?
So in this specific moment of my life or like in the past?
Maybe both. Like, I don't know if there was somebody like in the Ashley Graham era that you did love, or maybe more so now.
Oh, my girl Mariah Carey.
Oh, okay.
Mariah, you on fire. Oh man. Mariah. She's always like, well, she was like super thin, like or like smaller. And then she went through like that thick phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this girl gets it. Like she gets it. Like we're not out here with this like big old ass. Like we're out
Yeah,
here with like big boobs and like a thick waist and we're
yeah,
making it work. Like and that's
yeah.
where I was. And so I was like, Mariah, she just gets it. I mean, she was a diva. She still is.
Mm-hmm.
She's a
Mm-hmm.
diva. And like I watched her on Cribs and I was like, man, she's in this bathtub with like and like same thing, like the confidence of that. Like I was like, I love that. And I
Right.
love that you are embracing like this
Who you
thicker,
are.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool. And then Gina Carano,
I know you love her.
she was a fighter and she was super, super like cut weight, whatever. And then more recently, she's in the Mandalorian and
Yep.
she's a little bit thicker. And I'm like, okay, okay, sis.
Okay.
Yeah, those are like, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So like what's the flip side? So for you, like what are the pros and cons of body positivity? Like what about the movement? Like, okay, so you love the people owning themselves, you like the confidence, like you like the diversity. Is there a
Mhm.
flip side to it that you don't like?
I don't like that it's kind of accepting this like unhealthy lifestyle of
Yeah, the pendulum is
um
swung a little too far.
yeah, and it makes me sad because I have to work for every pound that I lose or whatever and like to the get to where I want to be and I have to work and it is hard work. And so the body that I have at any specific time, I'll just take it back to like after I had Aria, I was like 45 pounds heavier than I am now and I did not love my body. I loved my body for what it did and I appreciated it and
Mm-hmm.
I loved that it was my skin, obviously, like my body. I love my body, but I didn't love my body.
Right. You weren't
And
loving where your body was at that
yeah,
moment.
and I just like to me, like to be healthy and like feel like I could live a long time with being healthy and eating like healthy quality foods. I mean, I know I personally myself knows what it feels like to eat completely go off the deep end and just like immerse myself in all these like bad foods and whatever. And I also know what it feels like to be 1,000% on target with all my goals and macros that I'm trying to hit. Um, I like to live somewhere more so on that side because I'm a creature of habit. So like eating the same things every day comes easy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy like a cheat meal or I do enjoy like a cookie or ice cream
Yeah.
or chips or whatever. Like I'm human, like those things do taste good to me. Um, but I just value my health and my wellness and for myself because I want to be around for a long time. Um, and so I do think that the dive into like this body positivity of like accepting these really overweight and unhealthy people, it kind of shines a light on that part that
Yeah.
I
So, like, would you say that there's a difference between body positivity and fat acceptance?
yes, and I also think there's a difference between at least like I always say like yeah, I'm not like and I tell my nutrition clients this a lot like I'm not asking you to be perfect but just try, right? Like
Yeah.
this is a life that we're going to live forever and you're not supposed to be like we want to live our life and be happy but we also want to live our life and try to get to 80, 90 years old. So at least try, exercise, eat good quality foods. That way, when it does come time to indulge in these things, it's like so worth it. It is so worth it. It is so good. And
Yeah.
you're so happy when you do it. And then you might feel like crap because you haven't done it in a while. But it, that's where I think like you have to just try to do it. And I think body positivity comes from like loving your body, right? Like you love, like I said, like I loved my body. I love what it could do. And I celebrated that I was able to carry a baby in my belly for 9 months and work out and do all these things. But the fact of the matter is I was 45 pounds overweight. So I did love my body, but I did not
Right.
love how it looked and how unhealthy I felt. Like I couldn't even run. I could barely
Yeah.
run. Like, and I know people are like, well, you just had a baby. Yeah, I just had a baby, but I still was overweight. I was
Right.
45 pounds overweight. I mean,
Yeah.
I
So I
gained a
think,
total of 50 pounds with Aria, and like it was, like it's hard. It's hard work to lose all that weight.
for me, I think that like at its best, kind of like what you just said, the body positivity movement is a movement about self-love. It's about like kind of like what you said, loving your body, loving your skin, honoring your like house. Like this is where your soul lives. So love it and feed it and nourish it and like appreciate it
Like
and be grateful for it.
like a house under construction. Like you
Well, and
love your
that's the
house.
that's the
Like,
thing. That's the thing where I feel like where it gets a little bit muddy, where it's like uh, in utopia, body positivity is the ability to love yourself and appreciate yourself and respect yourself where you are at, while simultaneously wanting something else, being okay with where you are and being on the road to the better version of you. That's not a journey that ever stops in a person's life who's living the way I would consider to be the right way of living. Like always looking for the next way to evolve and adapt and overcome and like achieve or whatever. So like one of the things with fitness and like a physical pursuit of fitness and health and wellness that's sometimes frustrating but mostly rewarding is like it is a journey that lasts forever. You can always get better. If you're never you never are at your, if you want to keep working, you will keep getting better. So I feel like in its prime, that's what body positivity should do, is like allow you to love yourself and respect yourself. And because you love yourself and respect yourself, do the things in your life that aren't necessarily the easiest to do, like put down the fork and like not overindulge in like the junk food and get up and move your body even on the days that you don't want to. Like that's body positivity. We've kind of turned left, and I'll just call it fat acceptance for the sake of having two different titles for these phenomenons. The thing about fat acceptance that I have a problem with is there's a lot of misinformation like associated with it, just because people want to act like they can't get better. They want to act like losing weight works for some people, but not for others. And moving your body is like okay for some people and not for others. And that is a really dangerous mindset and a very slippery slope. And that's where I have a personal, like, that's where my big issue with the movement comes in, where it's like, you'll see these people who are overweight and their lives are being impacted negatively because of it, but they believe what they saw on the fat acceptance TikTok that says, for some people they have a fast metabolism and they just don't, so they could eat the same and they're not going to lose the weight. And all of this is bullshit.
Yeah, no.
All of this is bullshit.
I do think that there are some people that could just eat whatever they want. They just have genetics and that on their side. But I am not one of those people. And I have to work for every single pound that I have lost. I've had to work for it. And it is work. It is absolutely hard work. And
Yeah.
those TikToks that are saying like, oh, whatever, like I will, that would make me really upset if I saw that, because It is hard work. It is hard. And somebody who's always been like on the thicker side, and I've literally have tried every single diet, because I think when I got into high school, it was like I started realizing that I was not like the normal like high school girl who's wearing size 0 and 2. I was wearing size 5 or 6 and 8. Like those are my sizes, and I was like completely fine with it until, you start like everybody starts like sharing clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I guess I am a little bit bigger. And even though I had very great parents that would tell me like, oh, like muscles are great, like you have strong legs, like that's why your legs don't fit into jeans or like whatever, you still, the crowd is like, and you kind of want to fit in, and it's high school and whatever. Now I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, I'm size 8. Like, although I
Well, and
try to
we
fit.
see it actually still, I see a resurgence of this right now, actually, like the body type that's promoted in the culture. Like we were saying when we were young, like in the early 2000s, the stick thin was the only option. Like you didn't see any type of representation outside of stick thin. And then like in the 2010s and like into the 2020, like there was like the BBL era.
Yeah.
And so everybody in pop culture, in the media, in fashion magazines, on TV, on Instagram, everywhere, it was this fuller figure, bigger girl. Like, and then that was the hot thing. And the pendulum is swinging back right now. And rail thin is in, baby. Oh no, it's back. Trust and believe. Rail thin is in. It's back, full
I'm shook.
fledged.
No.
It's back. Look at the Kardashians.
Yeah, well, my
Look at Bella Hadid. That girl is
media
straight
is
up
down.
anorexic on the runway. Bella Hadid is the #1 supermodel. The girlies, the gays, everybody loves Bella Hadid.
I do love
She is
Bella
the
Hadid,
girl, anorexic,
but I don't look at
obviously.
her. I don't look at her and think that's what I want to look like. I
But
mean,
but you never have. You've always liked
yeah,
Zelda. My point is that is the image that's now prominent again.
yeah.
That's it's coming
Which,
back. It's crazy to see the pendulum swing back and to
so
see.
do you think like now it's going to be some big like uproar because of like the body positivity movement, or like this like fat culture that they're like accepting, and now this like super thin is coming
Well,
back?
I
So like,
feel like the thing I see it more with like the backlash occurs like the skinny intolerance occurs when you see a formerly fat female usually um lose weight. Adele, Lizzo posts that she's going to eat a smoothie and her fans turn on her because she's supposed to be fat. She's not supposed to care about her health. I mean, that's the real hypocrisy of it,
that
is
makes
that
me really sad, because, and I know, like I said, like I don't think that everybody needs to have abs and walk around with like super shredded arms. Like that's just my goal. Like I want dope ass arms. Like I want thick legs, workout. Those are my goals. Not everybody's going to have the same goals as me. If your goal is just to be healthy, then it starts with like making little things here and there. And over time, like it's going to take time to get that. I feel like you said, like Lizzo wants to drink a smoothie, and then her fans like turned on her because she's supposed to be fat. It's like these people, like misery loves company.
that's exactly right.
Misery loves company.
That's
So
exactly right. And they don't want to see somebody like Adele. She sticks out to me as like kind of a recent, like she lost all this weight. Everyone's like obsessed with her body, like, oh my God, Adele, Adele, Adele. And her fans are like, Adele's a traitor because
yeah,
like,
someone else, what was that? Rebel Wilson. Rebel
yeah,
Wilson lost a bunch of weight, and a lot of people were giving her backlash. And I'm like, okay, she's not even she's not even like this toothpick Bella Hadid size.
yeah.
But like I applaud her, because that's freaking hard. Like you
But
still
that's the
have
thing,
to
is like the fat acceptance people don't want anyone to think that that's possible.
I also think like there's like negativity around like people that have um like gastric or like bypass surgery,
Oh,
because they still have to put in the work. Like, yeah, they
yeah.
have like additional help. They have that help, but
You think
I
that
like
there's the stigma about it, like a shame
uh
from,
yeah, like, oh, well, she had surgery and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, like it was easy for her because she had
Oh,
surgery,
okay.
blah, blah. But let me tell you, I know people that have had surgery and do not have success.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not as easy as just getting the surgery. You have to
right,
get the surgery and make the lifestyle changes
right.
necessary.
Yes, it is a little help, but I'm not saying like I can't walk into an office and be like, I need gastric surgery. Like they
Yeah.
would be like, no, like there's like rules that you have to
Yeah.
have to do it. Um, and so like I think that when people do like, it's almost like a shame, like they feel like ashamed because they had this surgery, like to be proud of like where they came, or like
Mm,
announce like I've had this surgery and I lost all this weight, because people will be like, well, you had that surgery and it was like you had like help, when you
yeah.
still have to put in the work and you still have to keep up with it, because if you don't, guess what's going to come right
Right.
back?
Right.
All that weight.
Yep.
uh so I feel like same thing, like almost like how these like celebs like lose all this weight and then people like lash out at them because they lost weight, like whatever, like same thing with like this person that wants to get healthy, and like for instance, like you, somebody, they may need that extra push to get to, you know, start losing weight, and people just have like a negative, well, people are just gonna hate, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's like what you said, it's a misery loves company situation. I think that they don't want to see anybody break
Better.
out of that because it's possible to break out of, but it requires a lot of hard work, dedication, and discipline. And that's the part that, in my opinion, the fat acceptance people don't want they don't want that. They want to be victims to their fatness. You know what I mean? Like they want to believe that calorie counting works for some people and not for others. They want to believe that they can't move their bodies, or that they, you know what I mean? That it's
Yeah.
excuses. It's excuse, all of it is excuses. And it's toxic because it perpetuates this idea that like there's so much miseducation out there in fitness and
Health and,
diet and all of
yeah,
that in general, because
nutrition.
yeah, everybody's trying to make money, but the solution, you don't make any money off the real solution, which is just what everybody tells you to do, which is eat right and exercise.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, like I look at like Mariah Carey, like somebody who's like thicker and had gained some weight. Like to me, like I look at her and I'm like, oh yeah, sis, like you eating good. Like you had a good, you know, spring season. And we've all been there. Like I mean, maybe I shouldn't say we have all. I have definitely been there where I'm like, oh, it's the holidays. I'm just gonna spend the next 2 months like eating whatever I want. And then
I
before
feel
I
like
know it,
we've
I'm
all been
like,
there.
I'm like 10 or 15 pounds heavier, and I'm like, oh crap, like now I gotta buckle down and like get back to work. Like it
Yeah.
happens. And so like I think like the extra like weight gain on anybody, like, oh, they're just happy, they're going out on dates, they're eating more, whatever, like that extra weight gain. Okay, fine. Like I applaud you. Like you are comfortable in your skin, but if you're not happy about that and that's not health,
Right.
then reel it back in. Reel
Right.
it.
And it's about like, I don't know, it's like, be really honest with yourself. Like, I feel like most people who are really morbidly overweight and have a lot of extra pounds weight to lose legitimately will be happier in every single way if they can lose that weight.
Yeah. And maybe like they need like in like realistically, or let's say like their BMI or whatever, like says that they need to lose 75 pounds. But if they lost like 30 pounds, they would
Yeah,
feel significantly better.
totally.
And so like it's
Totally.
like just start with there. And that's why like I said, like just try to live a healthier lifestyle. Like just
Yeah.
try. Like I'm not saying be perfect.
No.
Perfection is for like somebody who is like 5 pounds away from the goal weight that they really, really, really want to get. Like that, then okay, now you need to be perfect. Now you need to be like everything needs to be like spot on.
Right.
But for like the everyday average person, like be good 90% of the time. And then that
Yeah.
10% go and wow it out. If you want to eat a whole
Live
sleeve of
your life.
Oreos, like
Yeah.
fine. We've all been there too.
Well, and that's the thing is like there should be an element of balance, and you shouldn't feel like a slave to rice cakes, or like you shouldn't be enjoying food culturally like with for celebrations and holidays, like and the body positivity movement maybe does help with that, and it does help with representation. I'm going to insert some pictures here, like talking about fashion. I always pay attention to that stuff. And like, I watch the runways, and like, I do get upset when I see like, I forget what show it was, but this past season, there was like a designer that had like, it was just skinny bitch, skinny bitch, skinny bitch, skinny bitch, almost naked, all of them, skinny bitches in almost naked outfits. And then one plus size girl covered head to toe, just like didn't even belong in the collection, where it's like, if you're going to have the fat girl and cover her up, like,
And why have her?
that's not representation. Yeah. Put every size in the outfit that you think is the cool outfit. You know what I mean? Like, and don't act like one body needs to be covered and one needs to be flaunted. Like that I have a problem with. Some of my favorite.
To me, that's body positivity movement. That right there, like put everybody in the same outfit and
Right.
like don't cover up, but that's
yeah.
but to me, I would be like, oh, okay, sis, like I see.
And so I
like,
will insert, like, there are some cool brands that like I really love to follow, who I feel like do cool and exciting things with fashion, where they like artfully highlight like roles and like things on a woman's body that aren't necessarily like what the cookie cutter idea of what we've been told is beautiful in the media in fashion for so long, but is like really appealing and like oddly so cool. And like that to me is like the best of the best of body positivity, where it's like, yes, I do believe that all these bodies should be represented. And I'm not the skinniest, whatever. We all have our insecurities. Okay. Like it doesn't matter who you are. That's never going to be like a thing. And so body positivity is at its best is like being at peace and happy with who you are and where you're at. And also being able to like healthily work towards whatever goal you have, like, which when it comes to health and wellness, you should have goals. Every single person should have a health and wellness goal. Like you should ditch your insurance plan and you should ditch your doctor and you should replace that with a health and wellness goal, period.
I agree 1,000% with that. And I also feel like you said, like I personally, if I see somebody that has like stuff that could resonate with me and I see them like posting it on social media or whatever, and I'm like, or like even in a movie, I'm like, oh yeah, like when she bends over, she has some stomach rolls, like
Yeah.
hell yeah, because who doesn't? Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that's body positive. That now you're showing like the real person out here,
Yeah.
and like and I think like in the case of like Lizzo is like a thicker woman, and I think like her fans that are upset that she's drinking a smoothie like to see her fuller, because it's like maybe they feel like they could one day be like her, or be like, like, oh, so it's like the flip side of that, like
Yeah.
maybe they're just sad because if she does get skinny, then they'll have to face the reality that they could get skinny too.
Right. I think it's that.
And I mean, like I said, nothing against thicker girls. Like I still think like, like Mariah Carey had her when she's thick, like that girl
Yeah.
thick. Or like Demi Lovato, when Demi Lovato gained some weight, I was like, okay.
And I do feel like that's different. It's like it went too far. Like we were talking about Ashley Graham. It's like, okay, when this all started and Ashley Graham was the spokesmodel, yeah, she was still too perfect to really represent anything exciting, but she was at least a bigger girl. But then the pendulum again, it went way too. But then we got Tess Holiday, who's like, bro, I don't know. Don't put this chick on a magazine.
Let me see who that is. Hold on. Tess Holiday. Tess Holiday. Okay, hold on. I don't even know who this is.
Really?
Oh, wait. Do I know who this is? I feel like I've seen her, but she's very big.
I mean, like that's a standard where it's like, I like it, we can say whatever we want about that, but what we cannot say is that it's healthy.
No,
there's nothing you can say that's going to convince anybody that that is a healthy body to aspire to.
Well, okay. Let's talk about like those people that are like my 600-pound life, and they're like, but I like to eat all this food, and like I go back to me personally, because I have been there where I've eaten literally anything I wanted and just like indulged in like fast food or whatever. And like I said, you cannot feel good. nobody could tell me that you feel good eating all that food.
No.
And I personally could, I just notice it like in when I sleep, or like, you just don't feel good. So like, I know it sucks to like change, but like change needs to happen in order to grow,
Right.
or else you're going to grow in the wrong way.
And I just think like ultimately at the end of the day, like the message to kids is dangerous, that like some people are just fat, like that some, and like, yes, obviously some people, like there are different body types. Everybody has different genetics. Like not everybody's going to look exactly the same, but there's a big difference between like, you could be Adele pre-weight loss, or you could be Adele post-weight loss. Like she's still
Yeah.
Adele.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I think like the main thing is like that weight does not like define you as a person,
Right. Right.
but also you need to be the best version of yourself. And that is hard. That's hard to face. Like
It is.
that, it's hard to face. I don't know, like if we were like, oh, I finally reached my weight goal and everything's perfect. Like now what? Well, now like maintain that. Like
Yeah.
it's still work. That's still work
Yeah.
to maintain that. Like it's not as hard of a job to maintain the work that you already created, but you still have to work to maintain that, because you go right back to eating 75 chicken nuggets every day, you're going to gain weight. Like that.
I do think that one of the problems is that like one of the things that is leading to like the crazy obesity rate in America is that food is a drug, probably the most widely abused drug. And I think a lot of people overeat as like a trauma response, kind of like what you were saying, as like it's all tied to mental health.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and there's, I mean, this happens a lot to me. Like if I get really tired, or like, I just start like rummaging through the house, okay, what can I
yeah,
eat next? Like my body's just so tired, and like I'm tired, but like what can I eat next? Like what is the next thing that I'm gonna, like
yeah,
where's my next meal? Like I'm
yeah,
hungry, but I'm not hungry. And so I have to like really
right.
sit down with myself and be like, are you really hungry, or are you just really tired and you're trying to find comfort in that food
Yep,
that you're eating? And that's hard to face too, because that's a
yep,
really big self reflection of like,
yep,
why am I really doing this? Like, and like, it sucks because like a lot of, like Instagram, like influencers are like, well, like, are you eating for like, for fun? Or are you eating to like feel your body? Like, I'm like, okay, like, but for like the average person, they don't understand that. Like,
yeah,
they're not like a high performance athlete where it's like they could tell if they like ate bad. The regular person can't really, like, they're not there yet in their journey. So like they don't know those like body cues to listen to, I guess. I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know. I might disagree with you on that.
really?
I just think that like hunger cues, all of that, that's so biological, that's so ingrained in every person. Like if they're in the right mental state to be receptive to their body's cues, like I think that they will feel them and notice them. Like maybe not the same way an athlete does. Like when you use a word like fuel, of course,
Mhm,
like an athlete thinks of that really specifically.
mhm.
But like for me, I think a lot of my like self-love, body positivity, like awareness journey for me all started with yoga. And I wouldn't think of myself as like some crazy athlete then. But I was like, there was a switch for me mentally where I was able to like think of things in a different way. It was more mental than physical for me at that time. So I don't know. I kind of think that like hunger, like, yeah, athletes are like more aware of like nutrition and food than the average person, but hunger
Well,
cues and like the way
when
that
I
feels.
say like an athlete, like, I mean, like for instance, like me, if I'm gonna go, like if we're like my family's gonna go eat out, like I have the choice, like we go to Applebee's or Chili's or wherever. I have the choice to like eat something shitty, or I could like, I always make my own menu, because I just go and
Yeah.
I tell them like, I want chicken. I don't want it cooked in butter on the pan. Like I would like grilled chicken with spray, please. What's it called? Steamed vegetables and a
Hmm.
salad. Like I always like, that's, I mean, I don't know if that's on the menu, but I'm going to tell you what I want.
They're going to
And
have those things and
yeah,
that's how you want it
you
prepared.
know, you
Yeah.
have chicken and I want it prepared like this. And I always say that I have a butter allergy, so they don't put butter on anything. Thankfully my daughter does, so I don't have to worry about that. But anyway, but like if I go and I eat, let's say like I go and I ate like a Pizookie at BJ's or whatever, and then the next day, like that next morning, I try to go work out at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna feel a little off. Like it's not gonna
Yeah.
feel as like
Yeah. No, definitely.
clean as like, and so by athlete, I mean like that, like the average person isn't gonna go and run whatever, you know, like let's say somebody that's just getting, like let's say we took Tess Holiday
Yeah.
and we're like, okay, tomorrow you're going to work out at 6 a.m. and like whatever, like eat whatever dinner you think is great. Like she's going to eat whatever and maybe not the most healthiest, and show up at 6 a.m. and it's not going to have like that big of a, like she doesn't understand that yet. Like her body can't feel that yet.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it's a little foreign to her, that like fuel for her body is not as like, that relationship isn't there yet because she doesn't feel great yet. And also her relationship with food is somewhat, well, looks negative in a
Yeah.
way. I mean, I don't know. She's obviously eating a lot of
Well, and
something.
that's the thing that's really staggering is like to maintain Tess Holliday's size, the amount of calories that she's taking in daily is staggering.
Well,
Staggering.
yeah. And you have to absolutely be doing nothing, like barely walking anywhere,
Well, I mean, at that size, you probably, yeah, it sucks to walk anywhere
because it
anyway.
hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Um,
mean, she could work out all day long and it wouldn't be enough to outdo the amount of calories that she's
she's
taking in.
intaking. I wonder how much she does eat. Um, well, and but I'm always curious to like, I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true because I'm not mental health certified.
Yeah.
But I did hear that like a lot of like people that are larger, unhealthy in that way, it stems from like a mental health issue.
Yeah. Trauma
Or
response.
like,
Like I said,
yeah, right.
they're eating as a coping mechanism for trauma, like
Mhm.
emotions, like there's things that they can't face and food is the drug. Like, and the thing about food as a drug, which I think is so poignant, is that, oh shit, my computer's going to die. It's not a drug that you can just say, okay, I'm going cold turkey and I'm 20 years sober and here's my chip and I haven't touched alcohol in this long. It's like, no, you have to eat.
Yeah.
You have to eat. You have to drink alcohol at least 3 times a day or whatever, you know what I mean, in order to
Yeah.
survive. So it's like, you can't just walk away from it. You have to figure it out. And I think
Yeah.
that makes it uniquely difficult, which is why I
Well,
think it's so widely abused.
well, and it's easy to fall down that like rabbit hole of like, well, I
Oh,
deserve
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
I deserve to eat a whole thing of Oreos. I deserve to eat whatever I want because I've had a
Well,
bad
and then
day.
the mentality of saying, like, well, I saw my skinny friend eat a whole thing of Oreos and they're skinny and this is just my life. It's like, did you see every single other thing your skinny friend ate?
Yeah.
Because if they just ate all those Oreos and that was all they ate that day, they're probably under calories.
Yeah.
You can't compare like that. You really can't. But I think that they get caught up in doing that and thinking like this person's small and they eat like this. And so I'm just doomed.
Well, and I think like that's where like a lot of like, I don't know, like I have nutrition clients, you have nutrition clients, and I think like that's where like our role is like that accountability of like
Yeah.
them having to like
Yeah.
literally, I mean, and I will say like, we know when you're lying, dude. Like
Yeah.
we know when
We're
you're
like
lying.
Santa.
Like you cannot lie to us. Like we know when you're lying. Like if you it
The numbers don't lie.
right, right. And I've had, I mean, and 25, like, let's say, I don't know, 30 extra calories a day over 7 days makes a big difference. How much is that? 30 times 7 is
200 something.
yeah, 200 extra calories a day. So let's just say you're eating an additional 30 calories of something over that week. Like now you're eating 200 and something. And all that adds up. Like that is not like, you don't just get like to bank some calories here and
Right.
like, no, it's like building blocks every
Yeah.
day. You're like, and then you're burning however much it is to like burn that day. And you can't just go and like, okay, it's Saturday and now I'm gonna all day eat whatever I want. Like
The other thing is too, okay, so 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. It's really easy to eat 3,500 calories, like really easy. You could do it in one sitting, no problem. Like maybe not no problem, but you could do it.
let me just tell you, on Sunday, because it was the day after my comp, I was like, let me just see how much I ate in calories. And by 1 p.m., I was at like 2,800 calories.
Yeah.
By 1
And
p.m.
what do you tell everyone what you're at normally right now on your cut?
Oh, my cut right now, I'm at 1,100.
So,
But that's not
but
like, I don't
see how
recommend that.
crazy that is. Like, and I feel like that's a number that scares people where it's like, nobody in their right mind thinks it, but look at you eating 1,100 calories a day and working out like crazy and feeling freaking fine. So like,
Yeah.
that's the point. Like
Yeah.
and so
And
you
I
could eat
ate,
3,500 calories in one sitting. Do you know how long it takes to lose that? Like if you're trying to burn it back off, like
well, I
even a
know that,
500 calorie deficit a day feels like a lot.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I could comfortably live at probably 15 or 1,600 and
Mm-hmm.
probably still
Yeah.
lose weight. It's just the rate of me losing
Right.
is gonna be
Right.
a lot slower. But I have like a deadline of when I want to do it, and I don't recommend everybody just jump to 1,100. Like I gradually got there, and it wasn't like overnight or whatever. But from my own personal experience, Sunday I ate whatever I wanted, and I got to 2,800 calories, and I was so far under my protein that I was
Mm-hmm.
actually disgusted with myself. Like I was like, what did I even eat? Like 2,800 calories. And what did I even eat today? Okay, I had a coffee, I had some Oreos, like I had pumpkin cream coffee. So that was a lot. That was actually that
That's the thing,
according to
man. You
like
can drink some calories real quick.
my fitness pal, that thing has like 250 calories. And I don't even know how much sugar.
And
So
that's not even that sweet for a Starbucks drink.
no, no, people are out here getting like that
Starbucks
caramel.
drinks 800, 1,000 calories. No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. That's almost an
Imagine.
entire meal or almost an entire day of eating for some
Yeah.
people.
Well, for
It
me,
could
right
be.
now,
Yeah. I
almost.
mean, for real.
And I just felt like absolute God, like I had that day planned after my competition for a really long time because I had been cutting and like been really good with so I had that day planned. Like I was like, I'm gonna like just eat whatever I like crosses my way. I'm eating it, and it's gonna be so glorious because I don't have to like think about weighing anything. Like I don't have
Yeah.
to go to extreme of anything. I felt like absolute shit on
Ass.
Sunday
Yeah.
night. Absolute
Probably
shit. And
didn't sleep that good.
I ended up eating like for dinner, I ended up eating a steak and like mac and cheese. And no, I did not sleep good at all. Monday came around and I was the most tired. I mean, there was other factors of why I was tired too, but I was very tired on Monday. Like I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so exhausted. And I don't even know what I finished the day off on because I ended up eating mac and cheese for dinner, green beans, and a steak, like a big fatty steak, which it does have a lot of protein, but it also had like
Dude, that
fat in there.
sounds so good though. I want that right now.
It was very good, but I mean, I was already at 2,800 calories, so I was like, I'm not tracking this
No,
anymore. Like, I'm done tracking
we
for the
don't need
day.
to
Like,
know.
but I mean, I was probably what do you think? 2,800, maybe I was probably at like maybe 3,300 calories for
Yeah.
that day. Oh, and I had a drumstick ice cream.
Ooh.
So we were probably at the 3,500 calorie mark. So.
I would think so. But also like that kind of is good balance. And like you said, you were planning for it. Like it's okay, whatever. You didn't have sleep. But if you ate like that all the time and didn't get good sleep every night
Yeah.
and didn't have energy every day, Now you're depressed. Now you're going to a mental health professional to get prescription drugs for your depression. Do you see the cycle, people?
Also, can we talk about how alcohol
Yeah.
plays
Oof.
into that? I mean, like, oh man, we really spiraled on this thing, but it just like
Y'all not allowed to drink anymore. Throw away all of your drinks and go buy pipes and
I
smoke
was
weed
gonna say,
instead.
yeah, I was gonna smoke some weed. Pipes for weed, not pipes for meth, but
Not crack pipes, no.
weed. Um, but even like, so like that, the what do they call them? Oh man, I forgot what it was called, but it was like it's like a depressant.
Yeah.
Alcohol is a depressant. So like add that onto eating bad, and like
And
now
the
you're just like
calories in alcohol. I mean, my God, you're
freaking downhill, just in the gutter. And then, I mean, when you become my age, and even before you become my age, I remember I was like 30, maybe even 29. I would wake up with absolute horrid hangovers,
oh my God.
and I would not get out of bed till like 1 or 2, 3 p.m. sometimes. Like, and I would be like ordering Uber Eats and
Yep.
eating like whatever. And I'm not saying like, no, like don't ever drink, like whatever, like, but like in moderation. Like you're not gonna go
Right.
home
Enjoy
and
your
have
life.
like
Right. Right.
every night and have a glass of wine and drink beer every night. Like, okay, it's an event, it's a holiday, it's your birthday, it's New Year's, it's, there's certain times and places. Um, and sometimes you just have to sacrifice those certain things. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I said, I've been out to eat and everybody's ordering pizza, and I'm like, well, do I want to eat pizza, or do I want to, get my goals? Like,
Yeah.
what do I want in this moment? And it sucks. Sometimes it does suck. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But also sometimes I do take like one little bite, and I'm like, okay, that one little bite will like hold me over until.
Yeah.
And also sometimes I've taken one little bite and I'm like, well, now that opened the floodgates. And like, here we
Yeah.
go. I don't know. I don't know which one we're getting. Um, I don't know. My like whole thing is like, I just want people to be healthy. And um, I want them to be healthy. I want them to absolutely love their body, whatever stage they're in, and know that like they have the power to change
My thing is
anything.
like, and maybe this is my hot take, but I think, like you say, like you just want everybody to be healthy. And I agree with that. And but I think like I think about like the body positivity and why I feel so passionate about it. And it's for me, it's like I want everyone to be happy. And I know that when you're lying to yourself, you're not happy. And when
Yeah.
you're morbidly obese, telling yourself that you're okay that way and like you don't need to change, you're lying to yourself. So you're not happy.
Um, Also, I like I think back like on my like weight loss journey, and like when like I remember I was like well over 200 pounds to everybody, just throwing that out there. I still weigh a lot. I do weigh a lot. I'm just a thicker, muscular girl, and it's okay. Um, but like I think back on my weight loss journey, and like the more that I started like seeing like little changes in my body, like here and there, like the more confidence that I would have, like, and the more I would like love my body. Like, obviously there's always something that I'm going to be like, I need to improve on this, or I need to change that. But I remember like even the first like 10 pounds I lost, like after like I started doing everything, like first 10 pounds I lost, like I was like, oh my gosh, like wow, like I'm this like you just have the
Yeah.
confidence. You have the confidence, and you start like seeing things in your body that you genuinely love. Like you're like, wow, like I do have really cool legs, like I do have really like
Yeah.
nice legs, like I do, my arms are starting to get really toned. And then you keep going a little bit more, and you're like, oh man, like look at this progress. And like that part, like I I didn't love being 45 pounds overweight. Like I didn't love that. And I loved my body though. Like I loved, like I said, I loved everything that it did. But then when you like I started like cutting more weight and getting like leaner, I started loving myself more, and I started loving how healthy I was
Well, and
becoming.
I think there's like a positive reinforcement system, like mental health wise too, where it's like it wasn't easy, and you have to, you know how hard you had to work to make those changes happen. And you know that you did the hard work that was needed when you needed to do it. And that confidence in yourself, and that confidence that you're going to follow through for yourself and be able to do the hard thing, ties into the mental health stuff we were talking about in the last episode, where like that's almost the cure for anxiety. When things get hard, you know that you have what it takes to do the hard thing and get through it. And you trust in yourself more and more every time you see one of those little changes. And it's like, it's not just a physical journey, it's that mental journey. And that's the thing about it that really sticks for me, that makes me get so passionate and resist against this like fat acceptance movement, because I know that if you accept that, then you are accepting lots of difficult things. And you know what, maybe not, you know, I don't mean to generalize so much, but I do think that it's connected. It's connected. And I want people to experience those, those moments with themselves.
It is true, because you have to really face yourself in the mirror when you're overweight and be like, what is it that's going to change? What change am I going to make? Because Dennis could cook healthy meals for me all he wants, but if I'm not going to eat it, or if I'm going to like, if everybody goes to sleep and then I go into the pantry and eat chips while everybody's asleep, then I'm lying to myself.
Yeah.
And I'm lying to him too, because he's probably like, what the hell? Like, but like you said, like the confidence that I've gotten from being healthy and like that whole journey, and like, you know, hitting those little like milestones and those goals, like every 10 pounds or 5 pounds or whatever. I mean, there was a point where it was like 2 pounds was a milestone. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like that 2 pounds, like, whoa, like that's great. Like, I mean, if I lost 2 pounds right now, I'd be happy. Like, but it's that confidence that you get. And like you said, like you really feel like it's like such an endorphin high. Like you feel like I am so badass. Like I could do anything. I did this with all this like noise going on. I did this with like having to say no to all this stuff for this little sacrifice so I can enjoy whatever it is down the road that I want to enjoy. And I did it. Nobody else did it for me. Like, I made the choice to have a nutrition, you know, have somebody hold me accountable. I made the choice to make those decisions every day. I did that. And you can only say that if you do it. And nobody else is responsible for that but yourself.
And nobody can take it away from you if if you have it, if you do it, nobody can stop you.
And I live in a house where they eat. I mean,
they're trying to derail you. The devil is tempting you at every turn.
And I will say it is hard, but I know that I feel good and I'm so happy and proud of my accomplishments that I like, why am I going to stop here? You know, just for some pizza, like on Saturday night, like, no. And you know what? I will say, like, for all the people that are out there that are struggling to figure this out or whatever, I will say that people will get on board. They'll resist at first and they'll be like, oh my God, like, oh, I'm not going to eat rabbit food. Or what did I hear a lot of? Remember Gabe would be like, she's only eating 3 almonds today. Or like he'd say stuff like that. And it's like, haha, like I know it's a joke, but also like he means that with there's some type of seriousness in that. And then turns around and he starts meal prepping. And it's like, people are going to catch on. They're going to see what you're doing and they're going to want to do it. And they're either going to get on board or they're going to be miserable in their own life and say like, I can't do it. I've been doing it this way for blah, 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 for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, however long. And it's never too late. You could always change it around.
True.
But people will get on board. And when they do, you're going to be like, so happy that they did. I will say that, because it is nice to have a support system in it, but you don't always need it, because I've done it without it and you could do it too. It is a little bit harder, but you could do it.
Yeah. You got to be tough. But for me personally, like I always remember when I would like 5th grade Maddie, 4th grade Maddie, or like that age. Like, I just know that, like, I remember I had a very conscious thought of like what it takes to have like that type of body, like a hard body, with
But when
muscles
in
and
fifth grade, Maddie, is that what the body that you liked, or did you like the Bella Hadid? Like,
I definitely think like I was like most attracted, like my ideal body type was the girl in Stick It.
oh, the main girl.
Yeah.
So like they're like too much
Yeah,
broccoli.
dude.
Oh, Malik and I had a big old crush on her.
When she was getting in the bath, the ice bath, and her like abs, and she was
Abs.
so hot. Like, but I remember I mean, like this the skinny thing too, like a little bit. Like I remember like Mary Kate and Ashley, I will stand them as long as I live on God's green earth. Um, so like there was like whatever, but I remember like thinking
So
specifically what I was attracted to about that type of like muscly presenting, like some type of toned and definition was that I liked that you don't get a body like that without discipline. And I
mhm.
liked that if I could walk around with a body like that, then people would know that I was disciplined without even needing to speak to me. My body would speak for me. You would know that I can work hard and I can do the hard thing. And you don't need to ask me. My body tells you that.
That is
I remember thinking that as a kid.
so good. You know what? I don't even know who told me that, but somebody in when I was in college told me that. Like, if you want to know somebody's work ethic,
Yeah.
look at their body and how they live.
Yeah.
And you basically said the same thing, but in fifth
Yeah.
grade Maddie version of
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I still think that like to this day, I want you to look at me and see that I represent the type of lifestyle that I want to represent. Like, you know that. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
I guess that so homeless. I'm just
Oh my God, I'm dead, dude.
I'm just kidding.
Oh
You're
my
just
God,
kidding.
that's funny. Anyway.
But I do feel that too. Like, I remember like in my 20s, I would go to like Encore Beach Club or like pool parties and stuff, and I would see like super like jacked girls or like, and I'd be like, man, like they work out hard, like
Yeah.
whatever they're doing, like I want to do it too. But I was so young and like kind of naive at that point, and like bad
Yeah.
relationship. I don't know. Like it was just a whole mess at that point.
Yeah.
20s and partying. I was partying a lot. So like that was also like a big excuse of like why I didn't have that body type. And there's a whole other list of reasons. But I remember like going to these pool parties and seeing and like thinking that like, man, like they work out
Yeah.
hard. Like they have
Yeah.
solid abs, like muscles, like I don't know. And I always say like, I mean, that's part of the reason why I want like super dope arms, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's been like a year of me. Remember, I would like this time last year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna work hard
Sick
all
arms, sick
through.
arms, sick arms.
I work hard all through the winter, and by summertime, I'm gonna have sick arms. I'm gonna have sick arms. I'm gonna be so shredded. I mean, I don't. They're better than what they were
No, they're
last year at this
sick.
point.
They're sick.
But I'm still like I need to improve them. Like they're not.
Well, and that's
not
the
where.
thing. That's the journey of like fitness. And when you do like that never goes away. I was just telling that with my mom. Like it never stops hurting. It never stops burning. The workouts never stop being challenging. Like
Yeah.
that's the point. Like you can always improve. Like it.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's frustrating because I'm like, shouldn't I be like perfect by now?
Right now,
But
yeah. I love it.
but other times it's like that's the
Low.
good thing
I
about
should
it.
go
That's
too
what
thick.
that's
My
why it's a
abs should be popping,
lifelong.
but they're not. Probably because of the 3,800 calories I ate on Sunday, but it's
Oh,
fine.
please. Yeah, but that's good though. I mean, like I do think that that's important. I like that balance. Like
Yeah.
it illustrates the point that like, no, you don't have to be this like perfect specimen all the time, but like
Yeah.
you also
And
have
I
to be kind of
also
honest with
think like
yourself.
I don't think like I don't think you should count macros forever. I think you at some point you kind of intuitively know like, okay, this portion size seems about right, or this portion size seems like it's a
Yeah.
little too big or whatever. At least I know. I still track because I'm like super close to like
You're
the
on a
goal.
you're on a very specific
Um,
goal.
but like I knew like I didn't track at my competition or anything, but I
You're
knew
right.
like I knew
Generally,
I needed to eat certain things, and I knew
yeah.
like, okay, this chicken breast that I was eating was about this amount of.
And it does get easier. Like the beginning of a nutrition journey is the hardest part every single time. Like, yes, it's
Mhm.
annoying to like log all your stuff and calculate everything and like enter everything in your phone or whatever every time you eat. Like, yes, that stuff is annoying, but it gets easier and you start getting
Yeah,
rhythms and you start getting patterns and like you start memorizing things and
yeah,
it does level
yeah.
off.
And I don't know, like I would always tell Dennis, like, okay, you get one meal a week where I won't track. Like, I mean, I'm still gonna
Yeah.
like in my head know like kind of around what I'm eating, but like
Yeah. I'm not going
I
to like
know,
eat till I'm sick, still have like one serving.
yeah, yeah. And I would, I'm not gonna pull out the scale and be like, oh, okay. But like he knew, like, okay, I get to cook, freely and not be
Yeah.
like, how much is that? And what is this? And so like that's good too, like to have that type
Yeah.
of balance, because I'm pretty sure I annoy him like, no, don't put my food in there. I need to like weigh it. But I'm also extreme. So I don't know. You don't have to live like that. But
Yeah. I think that for the long term, like it needs to just balance everybody. Yeah. Everybody can agree
no.
that like balance in the long
Yeah,
term, you have a very specific goal you're working towards right now. This is not like a permanent state for
no.
you. Like you're working on a specific thing that's kind of different. Like, um, I represent somebody. I know I don't track.
Hmm.
I just eat, go pretty much what I want. I mean, I'm generally healthy. I mean, I eat the same thing. Like I'm like you, like it doesn't bother me to eat the same thing over and over again. I'll eat the same exact meal for lunch and dinner all week.
Me
Doesn't
too.
bother me in the slightest.
Me too. But like somebody like Dennis, he cannot like it, it drives him crazy that I do that and he's not even eating it. So I'm like, why do you care that I
Yeah.
ate chicken 3 times today? Like
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or he'll be like, you had that breakfast yesterday. And I'm like,
And the day
75,
before that, and the day
75
before
egg
that.
whites. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'll tell you exactly. 253 grams of egg whites from the carton. That's how
Yep.
much I could tell you exactly what I ate. And you know what? I feel great. So until I
Yeah.
get sick of it, then we'll talk. But like,
Exactly.
but then it's like cool because like when I go to your house, like I know I'm not gonna be eating garbage. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna make this badass salad and we're gonna eat and it's gonna be good. And I don't have to worry about like tracking at your house because it's
Yeah.
like nutrient dense food and it's so
Yeah.
good. And I'm like, okay, this is great. But
Yeah.
like if they're like, let's go to Chick-fil-A, I don't know. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, like I'm at the point where I don't feel good when I eat that anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I think at the end of the day, like that's another big point for me is that um, like how I was saying, food is such an abused drug. What it should be is the most highly utilized medicine. Um, because when you do eat like that, nutrient dense, like rich in minerals and vitamins and tons of greens and vegetables and lean proteins, and when you eat like that regularly, it's a medicine. And even the act of like making the salad to me is medicinal. Like engaging with vegetables, like touching, smelling, engaging with vegetables, that is good for you. I don't care what you say. Like
well, yeah,
I would like to see people using food like that as medicine, not just mindlessly consuming calories, but like get a fresh vegetable and cut it up and prepare it and have that experience because that's really important.
yeah. Well, and it's like fresh. I always like to know what goes in, and I know I'm not like I lived in LA, so like there were some extreme ass people there that were like, I need to know everything that's going in my body. Like I'm not exactly like that, but I do like to know what I'm
Yeah,
putting in my body, which is why
generally.
if I go to a restaurant, I like order a certain way, and I'm sure they could be lying to me, but like I'm trying my best,
Mhm.
and also like it the colors, like I don't know, like when you get a plate and it has like all the different
I
like colors of
know.
the vegetables, it's like so good. Like
It's
I don't know,
beautiful.
it is, and it's like all these colors, like I don't know, like different colored bell peppers and like vegetables and broccoli, and there's the green beans, and I don't know. I personally love that. I've
I know it's like a celebration, right? Like food should be appreciated like that. And like it should be beautiful to look at and like invigorating to eat. And like it should make you feel energized and good. I don't know. Like
yeah,
food can be so healing. And I hate to
Yeah.
see it being used so destructively.
Well, and I like hate that. I mean, like I get it because I was overweight and I mean, to some degree, I guess considered obese at this point too in my life. But I get it. Like I wasn't always this way. Like I would eat literally whatever I wanted. And that's how I got big. I also had a
Yeah.
kid, but um, I remember like eating like just like greasy food. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it was really good in the moment. Like it's like like you said, it's the drug. Like in that moment, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like so good. And then I would be fucking sick. Like
Yeah.
what did I eat? I think we ate McDonald's or something, and I usually get the chicken nuggets because I'm like, oh, chicken nuggets are like probably the safest bet. Like I
Yeah.
know it's not whatever. So I think I got like a burger or something, and I remember I was just like eating it, and then I was like kind of full for the rest of the day, which isn't terrible, but because I'm like maybe it's still kind of like under my calorie count.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I mean,
somehow,
that's true.
but then I go to bed. Well, I felt sick after.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, I don't want to eat anything because now I feel sick. And then I go to bed and I'm like laying there and I'm like, now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like, okay, well, do I get up and eat this late? Which I'm sure a lot of people do. I didn't because I can't sleep like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like that cycle that, and
Yep.
it's like nonstop, like
Yep.
that drug of like that high and then the low and then like,
Crash.
like high. But I will say, so have you ever done the thing that your blood sugar?
No,
Never?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
when you come out here, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
It's really fun. So like uh diabetes runs in my family.
Okay.
My mom's side, like a lot. Like it's really, 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 really bad. Um, so to some extent, I believe that it is hereditary in some way. So my mentality is I have to work twice as hard to not
Yeah.
uh fall into that trap. Um, but it's really cool because I always do mine for fun because I always
Yeah.
want to see like where I'm at, like just in case like it might be high or maybe I'm not eating the right foods at the right time or like I'm eating too much carbs at one sitting instead of like spreading it out. So like I like to do it for my own science purposes. And
Yeah.
this one time I like had ate super, super, super clean or whatever. And then Aria had those the trolleys, those gummy worms,
Oh,
and I like pounded like 6 of them. And I was like, oh man, like whatever. But we just so happened to have the blood sugar thing out, like, I don't know, 30 minutes out. Maybe it was, yeah, like about 30 minutes after I had ate them. So I was like, well, let me just see where my blood sugar is. It should be spiked because, and I'm
just
saying
had.
6, I'm being generous. I probably ate 16 of them. And I did it, and my blood sugar was super low. And my mom, well, not super low, but it was like low. Like
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be high. Just I
Right.
literally
Spiked.
just spiked my insulin, like my blood sugar's so high. And my mom, who's diabetic and has to do that all the time, which is part of the reason why I do it because it's easy accessible to me. So whatever.
Yeah.
So my mom was like shook that it
Yeah.
was like a regular reading.
Number. Yeah.
And she was like, like how, why, like it should be spiked. And I'm like, Mom, like, because I eat good.
Yeah.
And so like my body's not fighting to try to like regulate it.
I saw a really good meme or something online that was like, do diabetes and heart failure and all of these issues run in your family, or do the habits that lead to diabetes and heart failure
Run.
run in your family?
Yeah.
And it's that, and that there is a level of genetics involved. Like after all these generations of those habits, like your genetics are affected, but you can still affect them the other way with those good decisions. You're proof of that.
Yeah. And I mean, my mom was
Shook, huh?
like, she was like,
She was probably jealous.
and she watched me eat them too. And it was just like, but I was like, well, I don't eat, like my body's not trying to fight with it
Yep.
constantly, trying to like regulate it. So it's just like smooth sailing, like, oh, okay, we have a little spike,
Yep.
right? Spike, okay,
Whatever.
like,
Yep. Moving right
yeah,
along.
Yep.
Yep.
Back down. This is an everyday occurrence and it's fine. Like whatever. I mean, it
Yep.
might be because I eat chocolate all the time, but but like one little dark chocolate is
Yeah,
not
no,
like
that's not the same. No.
it's fine.
Man,
But
this
yeah,
was a really good, this was really
I agree
good.
with that thing you saw,
Yeah.
because it is, and I do think like it is like you said, somewhat it does run in my family. Like it runs strong on my mom's side, and it is like it sure, but I refuse to let that be me. Like I refuse to let those things happen to me. Like I refuse to have high blood pressure. I refuse, like I'm going to do everything I can to not. And if that means that I have to live this way for the rest of my life, then I will. Like
Yeah,
I'm not missing much. I still eat here and there, like some good stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm, I don't know. My food tastes good to me. My 253 grams of egg whites tastes great.
Yeah.
Cottage
Yep.
cheese. So
Yeah. Well, this was a really, really good episode. I feel like we talked about so many good things. I don't even know if we have any hot takes left to close this out with. This was all the truth, Kush.
let me try to think of
Unpopular opinion.
unpopular. I don't know if this is I don't even know. Have you heard of this like cocoa coffee or something like that?
Cocoa coffee?
I don't know what it's called. Somebody at the gym said something about it. It's supposed to have like a little less caffeine than like regular coffee, and
Cocoa like chocolate?
yeah, it's like made with like a like the chocolate bean or something. I'm gonna have to ask them. But they were
Okay.
like talking about it. I've never heard of it, but um I don't have an unpopular opinion. Do you prefer
That's not true.
hot or iced coffee?
Like if I had to pick one forever,
Yeah.
probably hot. I would pick hot over ice if I could only have one.
This is a hard decision for me. I can't pick.
I would want iced coffee. I mean, like I want that too, but
Right now I'm truly enjoying my hot coffees in the morning because it's like
dude,
cold here. But when I lived in Vegas, I lived off of iced coffee. It
yeah.
was like just crisp and but I can't decide. I don't know. I don't got anything for our hot takes.
Okay. Yeah. My hot take is that Bella Hadid is like super anorexic and everybody's just like choosing to ignore it. It's fine.
I'm gonna have to look her up. I haven't even well, my social media is not working, so we'll
And I
just
wish that they would just be honest about it. It's the same as steroids. I wish you would just be like, yeah, I don't eat. Like that's why I'm fucking tiny because I don't eat. And that's what's hot right now. Like just say it. Just say it. Don't act like you eat Big Macs, Bella Hadid. But she might. She probably takes one bite of a Big Mac and that's her lunch. Like, okay, cool. One bite of Big Mac. You could live
takes
like
one
that.
bite for breakfast and one bite for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I want to know is Bella Hadid, how do you say no to the fries? I won't even be hungry and I'll still want to eat McDonald's fries. Like,
well, here's a hot take is last time Laura got her daughter fries and came over to my house, she didn't finish them. And so she put them in the trash can. And then 4 hours later, I got home and tried to eat them. That's disordered
um,
eating.
well, first of all, they were like already sitting, they had sat out for like 3 hours when I came downstairs and I straight up shoved like 6 of them in my mouth. Like I was like,
French fries don't go bad.
they don't. And then I put my gum and that's why you didn't
I
eat
know
it.
that's the only reason I didn't eat
The
the rest of them is because there was chewed gum in there. And I was like, maybe draw the line here.
I would have ate them and just not said anything to
Dude, it was
anybody.
close, but I had to like pour them out into like my trash can, like get them deep in there so I would not be tempted.
Oh, I've done that too.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, food off the ground, if it's dropped, is okay to eat.
Everybody knows that food off the ground is actually better for you than food not off the ground.
Dennis looked at me the other day. Something fell. I was giving it to Arya. He like looked at me the other day like I was like psychotic. He was like, I was like, okay, you're acting like this is brand new.
I know.
Relax. Like,
I love it. Okay, well, I think that's good. I think that's enough hot
Uh,
takes and unpopular
the
opinions.
whole
And
conversation, the whole podcast is a hot
this
take.
whole podcast is a hot take, but we hope you guys liked it and we hope you stuck around. And if you're still here in the comments, you tell us if you like, if you could only pick one, are you picking hot coffee or iced
Or
coffee?
iced.
Yeah. And if there's anything else you guys want to see us talk about, the one of you that's left listening, um, put that in the comments too. We would love some suggestions, but we have some cool stuff in the works coming up.
Yep.
And we love you guys very much.
Thanks
And
for
this,
coming to our
yeah, this
podcast.
closing line feels like almost a little too on the nose, but you're not hungry, you're bored. Close the
Close the
fridge.
fridge.